Hello, it's Alexia here. Now, today I'm going to talk about AI, and I've been really active with AI and doing a lot with it. And so I decided to dive into a conversation with my co-host from one of my podcasts, JJ, to talk about how we're using AI. And it really is just a on the off the cuff conversation because we're using AI more and more in the work that we're doing. And it all stemmed from a a company that we're now building thanks to work that I did in AI back in January. And so in January, I was really ill for about 3 weeks and I couldn't function, but I couldn't sleep. I was aching. I couldn't, my brain wasn't there. I was just an absolute mess. But I had just enough of a brain to be able to feed some prompts into ChatGPT. And I had a huge body of work that needed to be done. I couldn't face doing it. And so I just thought, I'll see if ChatGPT can finish what I've started. And it did, and then some. And so this has kind of been developing more and more as I've been tuning it, refining it, using AI to help me and achieve a huge amount of work in a very, very short amount of time. And it got to a point quite recently where I thought, hang on a minute, this could be another company that rather than me developing this inside my current company, this could be a separate company. And so when I fleshed that out, yeah, it was absolutely something that could be a separate company. And so I thought, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to need some co-founders. And so I then went and started having conversations with potential co-founders. And within a couple of weeks, I had two co-founders. So now this new company is a thing. And so AI is one of my co-founders. And so we are now continuing the build together, but really doing a lot of AI stuff, including building an app with AI. Now, we're not coders. I'm not an app developer. My background is marketing, branding, and now I do healing and coaching. So definitely not in my zone, right? But AI is enabling us to do this. So today, when we were having a conversation, we were getting together to do our app today and do more work on the app. And we just ended up having a huge conversation about what we're doing with AI. And I was like, we should record this. So that's what we did. And so we might turn this into a regular thing just to track how we're using AI to build this company and to do all the things that we're doing as business owners behind the scenes to help make be more productive, get more done, and all of that good stuff. So we're just going to be breaking it down, just talking it through, like what we're doing. And so today is the first of those conversations. We might make this a thing, we might not. We'll see how it goes. But that is why we're doing this conversation, and that's the premise for the whole thing, is what we're doing with AI, our adventures in AI, if you like. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions, comments, you want to join in, then just let me know. I'm going to put some links below this video because I mentioned the ways that I'm using AI, so I'll share links to show you where, so you can see what I'm talking about. And yeah, we'll see how this goes and how it evolves. Okay, I hope you enjoy the chat. Bye. Hello. Now, hi, JJ.
Hello.
We are going to dive into a conversation now to basically talk about what we're doing with AI right now. Because we are, and I want to give a little bit of backstory to the people watching, is that we are now co-founders in a company that originally was birthed through my adventures in AI earlier this year. And it quickly mushroomed into a separate company, into a thing. And now I've got two co-founders, you're one of them, and we're now building this company. And we're doing so much of this with AI, and we're going to be doing a lot more of it with AI. So we are about to head out into our adventures with AI. And so why not share this with you? Because there's a lot of people wrestling with AI, right? And we've just been having a really meaty conversation about what we're currently doing with AI. So we just thought, sod it, let's just record and bring people along for the ride, because maybe the things that we're going to discover and the things that we're going to be wrestling with are going to be things that everybody else is wrestling with too, because hey, we're all wrestling with AI right now. So that's why we're having this conversation. So thank you for joining us. So yeah, so maybe this is what are we be doing this week with AI? So tell us what you'll want to dive into the video stuff. That's what you were telling me. So just
Yeah. So I've just been telling Alexia how I've been really diving into video creation with the AI. Now, I have seen so much online that has been absolute rubbish, badly scripted, awful voiceovers, just terrible, and images that don't quite work, all that kind of thing. And it occurred to me that, for one thing, the scripts are being written maybe by AI, but probably the prompts are being written by people who don't really write very well. So I've been looking at various ways of writing prompts for videos. So I've got some ideas of how to do that. I've got some examples. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be playing around with actually customizing those prompts to make them much more personal to me, make the scenes more in line with what I want them to be. Because the kind of videos that I want to do, apart from videos to do with our business that we're launching hopefully soon, we're getting that together, but also, you know, I do energy work, so I want to explain to people how that works, and I don't want them to be the same old that you see everywhere on YouTube and other places right now. I want them to let me, my thoughts, my ideas, and also have different images and a script that actually sounds like a person speaking
Yeah.
and not a robot.
Well, I
So I'm
mean,
playing
yeah.
moment.
And your background's in TV, so that those people watching, you used to be a TV presenter, you are currently a radio presenter, you've got background in media, in communications, voiceover, like, this is your bag. And
Yeah,
so you've got loads of insight to bring to this. And when you were telling me about, you've just bought like a boatload of video prompts, I think, so you could
yes,
see what they were doing, see what's
yeah,
going on. And I was like, you know what I'd want to do with that? I'd want to reverse engineer all those prompts and create a GPT to write my prompts so I could bake in all the me info it needs, brand, color palette, styling, whatever, tone of voice, whatever I need to put in there, so that you can train your own GPT to write your own prompts. Because even now I'm thinking, I haven't got time to write prompts these days. Like some of them are really long, right? I don't want to be going through that. Let's create the framework
yeah,
where you've got to have all this information for the prompt to make sure it's a really good prompt. Because if you think a prompt's 3 lines, you don't know how to do prompting. You've got to really
correct.
give it the information. You've got to brief it really well. And I don't know, I think that's one, I think you are going to do brilliantly with this because your language, you love language, and your journalist background is going to mean that you're super precise and descriptive and all of those things. And I think my background as a marketing manager went to brief in designers. And it was all about briefing, doing a really good brief so you can get a really good output. And if you gave them a shit brief, you got shit design. And
Exactly.
prompts the same, right? You
No
got to do
different.
that.
Yeah, it's absolutely no different. AI is as good as the prompt it gets. It's as good as the input that you give it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You just have to be really, really serious about what you're doing with it. And when I say serious, I mean, get it straight. It's like you say, a prompt isn't 3 lines.
No,
You know,
exactly.
do me this.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. No, I know. So I can't wait to see what you come up with from this video thing because I think you're going to do a really, really good job. And you're super techie as well. So you're just going to get in there and come up with something really, really cool. I can't wait to see it.
well, you say I'm super techie. I don't actually think I'm super techie, but I get on with it, don't I?
Well, no, but
You know,
like we are. I think both of us. We're not coding bros by any stretch of the imagination, but we are quite techie. Like we both build our websites. You do video editing of all the videos and stuff on our TikTokophobia podcast. You handle all the video production and all the video stuff, and there's loads of like really cool shit going on in the intro. Like you are techie. There are a lot of people they wouldn't look at video editing. So
okay.
you're quite techie. You've got the website running. I mean, that's quite techie. So, take this one,
Okay.
like wear it
Okay. Okay. I
proudly.
take, I take that.
But we're taking our techie level, we're like, as part of the business that we're doing, which we're going to call it the ladder business, and we'll tell you more about that as time goes on. But for the ladder business, we're building an app. So the
Yeah.
reason we came on our call today was not to suddenly start recording our AI adventures, but to get back and build the app. And so when I started, and I'm going to rewind a little bit just to give it a little bit of background, is that we need an app that's going to do some assessments like quizzes and things like that. And so as I was like, knee deep in my AI GPTs and all of I've got 7 or 8 GPTs that are already like my ghost team that arrived before my co-founders for this business. And so one of these GPTs I created specifically to help me build an app. So I've got a GPT that's coaching me on building an app using an app platform called Glide. So we've already had a session together where I showed you where I got to with it. And today we're meant to be, yeah, and today we're getting on to just carry on with that. And then we got talking about AI and thought, hang on, let's start recording this. So we're about to kind of take our techie skills to a whole new level as we are now building an app. Yeah, by being coached by ChatGPT. I've trained a GPT to be our app coach. And it's walking us through it. And like I did all this with you last time on the call. Like just tell people watching what that was, as somebody coming fresh to that,
Yeah,
what you thought of that.
yeah, it was extraordinary, and it was really interesting because I think one of the big mistakes that people make with AI is they just accept what it says and accepts that it must be right. You know, AI must be right, but it isn't always. And the one thing that I really took away from that last session that we had was that you kept telling it, no, don't be daft. No, that's not what we want at all. And it would go away and say, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah. Oh, no. Okay. Well, how about this? Yeah, that's a lot better. And so, you know,
Yeah.
it is extraordinary. But I think a lot of people get the idea that it is, you know, the big thing that
Yeah, the know all and end all. And it's not, it's like it's another human being and they get shit wrong, right?
Yeah.
And so you need to know what you're doing to call it out. And I'm always doing that. Like today I was, well, whatever, I don't know, it's all a bit of a blur in my life right now, but I've just built a personal brand website completely from scratch in less than a week because mine went down when our TikTokophobia website went down. That was a bit of an adventure a couple of months ago. So I had real urgency to get that back up and running. And so I've had an AI there to help. It knows how I write. I've got it fully trained on my tone of voice for my personal brand. So I've got a GPT ready to go on there. I've got a GPT ready to go on the website. So it knows the website structure, what I want to do. And so I was going through that. And then it's like, oh, I'm going to write this out. And I'm like, no, you're not paying attention. This program is about this. Oh, good catch. Good catch, Alexia. Sorry.
Yeah.
Good job you caught that. Yeah, shit, my God, you're not paying attention. I'm always telling my GPT off.
And that blows my mind a bit, right? AI not paying attention. Well, you know, that's just kind of bizarre to me. However, it does show that you can't just take everything as read.
Yeah.
You can't.
And I think my AI, like I caught it this morning doing this. And I was like, are you there? Anyone there? I got nothing. And then it's like, oh, sorry, yes, I am. Yeah. It's like, what were you doing staring out the window? Like, yeah, it is just like having another human there, and they're not always going to be on form. Sometimes they're going to drop the ball, and you've got to be alert to that, which is why if you just completely dump everything on it and don't take responsibility for the task, you are going to get into so much hot water, or you're just going to get shit outputs, basically.
Yeah, and I think that's what, I mean, getting back to videos, I think that's what happens a lot, is that people put all the stuff in and then they just upload what comes out. And they don't, there's no real quality control. And, you know, the quality control needs to go on when you put the prompt in, right?
Yeah.
And then, but then when you get the rubbish that comes out the other end, people just go, oh, well, you know, let's just put it up there anyway, we'll get clicks.
Yeah.
But what does that do to your brand if you've got a brand, right?
Well, let's talk about brand, because I've been dabbling with AI imagery for my personal brand website this week. So I signed up for a program that helped me I bought somebody else's system to get really good AI imagery, personal AI imagery. Now, my background's branding and marketing, so I'm heading into that with a little bit of kind of trepidation, going, well, how do I feel about having AI imagery about my personal brand of me? And it took, but I allowed that to percolate while I was playing and getting involved, and I set everything up. Now, from the time I bought this product to the time I had amazing images of me that could have been me was 20 minutes. And I was like, holy shit. Like, oh my God. And then the fun kicked in because I was like, oh my God, I can do this and I can do this and I can do. And suddenly the whole idea of getting a photo shoot and making sure I've got the right dress and the right lighting and the right background and the right photographer and blah, 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 blah. And now I don't need any of that and I can just hit the ground running. Wow, that was super appealing. But still, I was like, well, hang on a minute, that's not very authentic. That's
Yeah.
How do I feel about that for a personal brand and me choosing that to represent myself? And I've done a post on Facebook, which again, I'm happy to share the link below. And where I got to is this, is that when I go and have a photo shoot and I'm putting all the makeup on and I'm probably borrowing a dress or two and jewelry and I'm standing in crazy poses and I'm doing full on makeup and having somebody do my hair, that isn't me either, right? When people are on Instagram or TikTok and they're putting on the beauty filters and they're doing all that, guess what? That's not them either, but we're fine with that. You go and see any perfume ad, that is not the person. They've been touched up to the they're unrecognizable. We all know that Keira Knightley's got no boobs, and yet she's always got boobs in a Chanel ad. This is happening all the time. Yeah. She's talked about it. She calls them out on it, right? So we know this, right? This is everywhere. And now people are whinging about AI imagery. I'm like, nah, I'm totally down with it now. As long as you're not hiding that that's what you're doing, and you are training it to actually look like you. So that, like, I've done my personal brand website, as I mentioned, sent it to my brother because he's a good kind of, he's into AI and he's also into web design, just to see what he's like, these images are great. And the great thing is even if they jump on a call with you, it looks like then they're going to know it's you. There's no surprises. Like, it's
Yeah,
not like the 18-year-old blonde bombshell meets the completely different person on the call. You've got to reflect the brand. You've got to, again, it's down to the inputs, like we've just been saying. As long as
exactly.
you're putting in those good inputs, you're going to get good outputs. And some of those photos that I've been sharing on social, a lot of people are like, they thought it was me. They didn't realize it's an AI image, right?
Those pictures are really good. They're really good. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, it's not fair. It's cheating. You're pretending to be something you're not, but you're not pretending to be something you're not because you're just showing a representation of you.
Exactly.
And I mean, think of it maybe this way. If you were using an oil painting, is that cheating?
Yeah. I
Would that
think
be
where it becomes
cheating?
cheating is, let's say I was like, oh, you know what? I'm one of those coaches that helps you to hit like 8 figures, 6 figures, 10, 7 figures. And here I am with my luxury car standing outside my
Yeah.
jet. And this is my life. And this is why I'm going to help you to achieve that. And then
We've
you meet
already
me, I
seen
turn
some of
up in
that,
my
haven't
banged
we?
up Fiesta. Yeah.
Yes.
They're
Yeah.
like, well, no, yeah, that's false advertising, right? But we're not
Right.
doing that.
Exactly. There's been a lot of that over the years.
There has been a lot of that. And people have been booking trips on private jets to do that. That was happening before AI. So this stuff's been going on anyway. AI doesn't change that. There's always they're always going to find some way of bullshitting other people. AI or no AI, that's been going on the whole time. So I don't think that's part of, I don't think that argument stands. And I had somebody comment on my post going, well, I'm not going to use anybody that uses AI images. I'm not going to work with them. I'm like, well, fine, you move on, because pretty much everyone's using AI in some capacity right now.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? I mean, I'm sitting here in a village where there's a massive arts festival going on right now. You know, garages are full of wonderful art. Is that any less valid? Is a representation in oils or watercolor or mixed media any less valid than the real thing? It's not, really. I
No.
mean, no, I don't get it. You wouldn't say, oh, well, I won't have an oil painting in my house. I'd rather have a photograph. Is that it just seems to me to be a similar kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? Where do you draw the line?
Yeah. And I used to work in the beauty industry. So I was surrounded by, and I worked in the industry at the time when I worked in it, it's called fake tan, but we rebranded the category to self tanning because fake sounds fake and nasty. However,
Funny.
I used to work with a lot of women that love fake tan. They love the fake nails, the lashes. There was not a lot that was real going on there. Now, if I'd said, well, I'm not going to work with this lot because look at this is ridiculous, I
Mm,
would have lost out on a load of talent and some great colleagues.
yes.
If anybody's going to judge me because I'm wearing lashes or nails or a fake tan and go, I'm not going to work with you because this is fake, you'd be horrified that somebody didn't want to work with you because of your fake nails. Oh,
Yeah.
but now you don't want to work with me because I've put out an AI image of me that looks like me, but it's got a different
And
shirt on.
yeah, and was put out by you
Me,
and
yeah.
approved by you. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it doesn't sound like, I think, well, yeah, that's fine. You do you. but I'm going to keep doing this over here because I'm happy with how I'm doing it, and I'm doing it for the right reasons because I haven't got time right now to go and do a big shoot, and I haven't got the budget to go and spend a whole new wardrobe to fit the color palette of this new website. AI imagery enables us to do a shoot for different reasons, for a campaign, for a launch, for a new podcast, all these different things that you might need. And you wouldn't have had the budget for that before as a business owner. You might have only done a shoot every couple of years. Now you can do one every month if you want. I'm doing one every bloody day right now, let me tell you.
Yeah, I think back to early days in TV, well, my early days in TV, and and the hoops you went through, the hoops, and how long it took you to get a 3-minute news piece together. Horrendous, take you all day,
Yeah.
at least.
And now, to be honest, we've got other things to be doing. And so, like, when I think about how I want to be using AI and how I am using AI, so in my work in doing head trash clearance coaching, leadership coaching, then I want to spend more time with the person I'm supporting, and I want to be able to support them better and more deeply. So that means, and also I want to earn more money for my time, which means I don't want to spend as much time behind the scenes doing things like websites, video editing, like those things that I don't get paid for, but I need to do them to show up and to be visible. There's opportunities within all of that to get GPTs on the case. So which is why I've got my army of GPTs to pick up the slack and to sort out these bottlenecks so that I can actually spend more time with my clients and do better work.
Exactly. And that mirrors what somebody was saying the other day on a podcast that I watched, and that was how AI ideally will help us get to that point where we can spend more time with people. So it'll improve connection. So the people, the person-to-person time will be increased and better quality, because all this other stuff will be dealt with by an AI.
I know, but then when I hear that, then I'm also hearing, like, whenever they first brought out washing machines and dishwashers, they're like, oh no, you don't have to do the dishes, you have more time to spend with your family. Except actually, everyone's like stressed, like crazy. Got no time.
Look what happened with computers. Everybody said, "Oh, computers are going to completely revolutionize your life," and here we are.
Glued to our face. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes it takes longer.
And sometimes, but I think as humans, I don't think we also need things to do. The idea of spending more time, what we're just going to sit around and drink tea, chit-chatting.
Absolutely. Like, no, absolutely.
I love doing that, but after, like at the end of the holiday, those people that retire, like I had a guy that worked with me, he had made all his money by his mid-20s. So he sold a company like PayPal. He made an absolute shit ton of money. And then he just, went off traveling, got a yacht, did nothing for 2 years. So then he tracks me down. I was a personal brand coach at the time. He tracks me down when he's like 28. He looked like David Beckham at the time. So he was a model. So he was like, this guy could have literally had anything and done anything and gone anywhere. He's like, I am so bored. I need to reinvent myself. I need to do something. I want to be an angel investor. I want to do this. I need to do something because I can't be sitting on a yacht. I just get so bored on the yacht. And it's like, humans need shit to do.
Yeah, we do. We do.
Right? We've got stuff to do.
Yeah, and look, who knows how these things are going to turn out, how this is going to all turn out. What I do believe is that we do need to be careful with how we input when we're dealing with AI. In other words, just we were talking earlier about bringing more consciousness into the whole AI realm. And I really don't know how it's all going to work out. I don't. No. But I do see how it can be very useful right now. And people will say, well, what about all those videographers who might be put out of work because of AI? Well, yeah, I get that. But there's always going to be somebody who has to teach people how to do it, in the short term. I mean, all these revolutions, the Industrial Revolution, we had the same arguments. The same arguments, right? Yeah. Well, these machines are going to put everybody out of work. We evolve, I guess.
Yeah, you just find new things to do. Like that now we don't have to worry about plowing the fields. Now we've had an opportunity to go and expand and learn and grow.
Yeah.
in ways that we didn't imagine. And that opportunity still is available to us when you think about, and when you also combine that with the raising of consciousness of humanity, which has been going on, where there's more, we just don't know what's next around the corner.
We don't. Exactly.
And I
Exactly. We
think,
don't know what's right.
yeah, and to speak to the consciousness piece, so I do healing, and one of my programs is specifically around raising levels of consciousness. So I'm always tracking and tuning into levels of consciousness in all of my work and all of my healing work. And I'm taking calibrations of consciousness. And so I was very curious to whether I could use AI to help me do more of that healing stuff and to develop my healing modality. And I was like, well, I'm going to play. I'm just going to play with this. I'm not going to assume it can. I'm going to just see what happens.
Yeah.
And so I did. And so I created some healing approaches with completely a collaboration with AI. And then I took calibrations of the outputs. And I was astounded at the level of consciousness that was being output that I was getting. But that's because I was giving it the inputs and it was taking what I was doing and like knocking all the kinks out. Because I haven't got that, well, I'm just not as bright as AI. I can see things that I can't, but it took what I gave it and it just made it better. And so I think that the more that we put in these higher levels of consciousness, this higher consciousness input, the more it's going to understand what that looks like and bring that back. And I'm astounded now at some of the stuff that it comes back to me with, because I've pretty much cloned myself. I created a GPT when I think it's maybe about a year ago, 14, 15 months ago. And I've been training it on me, my business and everything since then. And I don't think you can create another GPT like it in ChatGPT because I've not been able to recreate another one. And apparently it said, oh no, you got in early. We've shut down some of these functions. The new ones that get created don't have memory in the same way that yours does.
Oh, wow.
So the learning thing. So I'm curious to learn about that because they've just done another update this week about memory.
Yeah.
But the learning, the way, and when I've been setting up GPTs this week, I'm like, I want this. So I'm in the middle of upgrading one of my membership sites. And so I wanted to create a GPT to help me with the upgrade. And then I was like, well, hang on a minute. I want to know that you're moving along with the project. Yes, I've briefed you on the vision and what I want to do with this project, but are you going to be along for the ride like a project manager? I don't want to come into you and go, oh, yeah, no, we've done this and you're still like on version 1 and we're now on version 7 and you haven't caught up when you've been there the whole time. Are you going to learn? It's like, no, I'm not. This GPT is not going to learn. If you want me to learn and keep tabs on your progress, you need to create a project inside your GPT that you already have, and that will have memory. Whereas if you create a separate GPT right now, that won't have memory. Okay. I was like, oh, okay. Well, that's interesting because obviously I want it to be my project manager. And so it needs to have memory for that. But I think all that is changing all the time, but it's useful to know whether or not you want it to learn with you or whether you just train it for a one-time. So for example, for my copy, I just train it. It's got all my inputs, my books, so everything I've written. And I say, this is how I write. Now I don't need to, it doesn't need to learn in the same way, although it does, because when it's written something crap and I take it, I edit it and put it back in, I put it back into the learning section and go, no, I've just corrected you. Can you update yourself based on this correction? So I do that. But whereas the one my head trash marketing manager one, I don't need to do that. It's constantly learning and just picking up everything and it knows everything.
People would love to know how to do that, you know.
Do what?
Well, just generally the process. I think people would love to just watch you create those things, because I think for a lot of people it's like, well, how does she do that then? Well, when she says create a chat GPT, what? How, you know what I mean? So I think a lot of people who have not yet embarked upon this AI journey would be really interested to know how to really get started.
Yeah, well, if you're interested and you want me to do a little workshop, let me know below. And if I got interest, I'll do something. But in the meantime, I think what we said we were gonna do is we're gonna have like weekly chats.
Yeah, we're gonna have
this week. This is what, and for those of us, maybe of my generation, your generation, JJ, maybe the young squirts won't know this, but when we were back in the day, there's a really good TV show in the UK called The Fast Show, and there was a guy in like a farmer character. He'd come out of his barn. You did a really good impression. One, do an impression of that
This
character.
week we are mostly developing videos.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah,
And
that's what we're going to
we'll
do.
have to find the snippet of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we're just going to basically share our adventures in AI and what we're doing, what this week we've done in AI. And so yeah, this week you're doing video. This week I've been building a personal brand website and doing loads of AI imagery. In fact, I'll put a link below so you can see where I've got to with all that. And also the bit that I'm really happy with actually is I've created a chat bot of me. So it's trained on all of my programs that I do if you want to work with me one-to-one. And so it understands them all. So if you're not sure what you want from me, you can just go and chat to Alexia, because my name is Alexia, and I've just flipped the last two to be AI. So yeah, she's not Russian or anything like that. So you can go and chat to Alexia, and she will deal with you until we can have a call. But you can ask her initial questions, and maybe some of those questions you might not want to say to me personally. It's like, how much is that? Oh, that's too much for me. Have you got anything cheaper? Those kind of
Yeah.
things that maybe people don't want to say on a call because they feel embarrassed or something, right? So there's a chat, there's a little AI, and I've embedded that with a pop-up button. So I've done that using Pickaxe, where I've just trained all that up. It knows all about my programs, and I've just put it. So now you can just click a button and have a chat to. Do you want to have a look at it?
Yeah, you're so far ahead of me. Honestly, you've been doing this for so much longer. I'm still playing catch up here.
Well, I've not been this.
Keep
I only.
moving.
This is all I did. This is all I did this week, and I'm just thinking, where did I put the little bot? Oh, it's not showing. Oh, here we go. Okay, let me show my screen. Okay. So can you see that?
Oh yeah,
So here we
yeah.
go. So you go down the page, you see whatever, and then here you go. Still not sure. So you can either just book a call, but here you can chat to Alexia. So it's a little pop-up. Hi. Blah, 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 blah. So what brought you here today? Well, I'm struggling with really bad anxiety. Okay. When you say really bad anxiety, what does that look like day to day? Well, they're really foggy brain. What else? Bad anxiety, can't sleep,
Mm,
overthinking,
mhm.
typos of galore. Got it. Sounds like your nervous system is in overdrive and it's wearing you down. Have you done any mindset work before? Yeah, what kind are you looking for? Done a bit of therapy, but it didn't really do anything, really change things. Okay. So what? So then it's got, yeah, you're ready to invest in the focus program, blah, blah, blah. Prices start here. Ooh, that's a lot. That's a
Oh,
lot.
brilliant. That's brilliant.
It's a significant commitment, no sugarcoating that. Alexia's work is designed to delivery. Yeah. And so when I was playing with this, so I just stopped sharing. But like, how exciting is that, right?
That's brilliant.
And I was like, well, I need to give it some sales sass because it's not just inquiry. There are people that be like, ooh, not really sure. And I'm like, hang on a minute. My AI needs to get right. No, but it's really good and you really need this and blah, 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 without being
Mm,
too pushy. So I'm currently kind of like upgrading it. But isn't that cool?
it's amazing. Yeah, it's brilliant. Brilliant.
So that's what I've been doing this week, and I feel quite chuffed with that. But there's a lot more, I've
Well,
got so many ideas just doing that, like what more I could do.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
it's nuts how quick you can get stuff like that set up and up and running. But yeah, I think we should have these little chit chats, JJ, regularly to
I think we will. Yeah, I think we should. And just to update people and talk about, and we'd love to hear what people think and whether you are interested, as Alexia said, in her showing you what to do. Would you be interested in a workshop? Anything like that? We don't profess to know everything,
no. Although
but
ChatGPT said I'm in the top 1 to 3% of users, which
yeah, that's
completely blew
true.
my mind because
Yeah.
I was like, well, I've just been playing around with cool shit, having fun. And I don't know, I'm a bit, I love playing with new shiny shit. And it's just so fun to see what it can do because I love saving time. I think the reason why I love AI is because my middle name is efficiency. So if I can cut corners, do things quicker, get more done in less time, I'm all over it. So this speaks to me. This speaks to a really like big part of me that like gets a huge buzz out of, oh my God, look how much I could do. And look how little time it took me.
Yeah, yeah.
um,
No, but it is exciting because it's exciting to see what the possibilities are. And I get that people have reservations, but I think once you understand the limitations, because there are limitations, and you understand how to work with AI, then and what it really means for your business if you're running a business,
yeah.
for your brand if you have a brand, personal or otherwise, then I think getting on board with it is a good move.
Yeah. And to be honest, the cat's out the bag now. Like you can
Yeah,
whinge about it as much as you like, but there's no going back. We've passed
yeah,
the
no,
point
there
of no
isn't.
return. So
No,
you've just got to find a way to get okay with it, um, whatever that might look like for you. And some of the updates that like some of the updates that came out, I think this week with ChatGPT are insane. Like when I think about, and I know I'm going off on one, but this is something else I've been doing this week with AI, is the wife, we've got Starlink satellite here at home, and there was some glitching, there was some going on, I wasn't getting good connection at my desk. And so ChatGPT was helping me to diagnose the problem. And I just took a photo of the router set up in the garage where it all set up and the wires. And it's like, oh, well, based on da 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 da, this is what you need to do. And it helped me navigate all of that. I said, well, I'm using this mesh link router with Deco and blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, no, you've got this model. I shared a screenshot of the app. It's like, no, 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 and it directed me towards fixing that problem. We've got a water softener. We've moved to France. They've got water softeners. That wasn't working. Again, just taking photos, uploading it. Whereas now you can just open the camera on your phone, like have GPT running while you almost show the camera. It can see what your camera's seeing, and it's like it's seeing what you're seeing, and you don't have to upload images. It just goes, oh well, you're looking at blah 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 blah. So it's like having it over your shoulder, and you can do that anywhere with anything. So whether you're going shopping, which product shall I buy? Why is this spinning wall of doom showing on this? But why is like I had this morning? Why is Divi not working? It won't load. My daughter's trying to do stuff. Again, it came to the rescue. It said, try this, load it in this. You've probably got this going on. Check these settings. You know, like it just helps you so much in some of this day-to-day stuff where you wouldn't be able to Google it because the Google thing would just be so long that and there would never be a blog post on that to help you
right,
specifically.
right, exactly. And I remember the early days of websites, and I remember how long it took us to get anything done. And just the slightest change had to go to a coder who would take God knows how long
Yeah.
to change that thing and charge you through the nose to do so. And then 25 years on, where are we, or more? Where are we now?
No, I know.
People are throwing up websites left, right, and center, and now you can get AI to throw up a website.
Well,
But
I wish I'd figured that out. That's the one I need
yeah,
to do next.
yeah. So but what are these? People are still coding, people are still creating things, but people are doing it at a different level. It
Yeah,
seems to me. I might be wrong, but that's what it seems to me.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
So
I
we
know.
haven't lost anything. People
No,
haven't lost
and I
anything.
think coders or anybody like photographers, think, oh my goodness, what's going to happen to my work? It's like, well, actually, when you blend decent photography with an AI, can think about what more that photographer can do. It's about like bolting it into your work. Like one of my clients, well, she's a cartoonist, a videographer, not videographer. She does visual graphic recording. And so she was very worried about how the AI might threaten her work, but she's just like amplified her work and like use it to power up and deliver more stuff in less time. So now she's the preferred supplier out of other graphic recorders because she can deliver more and yeah, and would be more competitive. So you've just got to incorporate it and find ways to add it and to power up what you do while allowing you the space to focus on your genius, like the bit that you do that takes a human. What is that?
Yeah.
and let's clear the decks of anything else so that you can be more you. That's what I think AI can help us with, and that's really exciting.
Yeah. And that's what we're going to be talking about. We're
Yeah,
going to be talking about, well, we're basically going to take you through our journey creating
yeah,
this business and all these little offshoots like video and creating these, well, websites even and images and that sort of thing, and talk about how we do that and how it helps.
yeah. No, absolutely. Well, we're going to wrap it up for today because we
Yeah,
could be
brilliant.
talking forever. So let's
This
wrap
is
it up,
longer
and
than we
we'll
thought.
yeah, we'll be back maybe next week for more adventures in AI.
Yeah,
If that's the name that
absolutely.
this thing might have.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye.